Good afternoon. My name is Philip Derose. I'm a commander retired from the reserves. This is an update to the presentation I gave last year, uh, mainly because of changes in the system that the Navy has done that will be more beneficial for the gray area reservist retiree. Now, the gray area definition is somebody that has retired but has not been given pay yet. When you fully retire and request pay and actually start receiving pay, now you are a retired reservist. So for those in the gray area, the Navy and DFAS has come out and made a policy where you can have a My Pay account now to carry you through those gray area years. Essentially from when you retire without pay to the time you actually retire with pay. The reason for this is actually threefold. One, to keep PERS 912 informed, update your status, update your address. Also to keep DFAS updated. Currently, and this is what prompted the change, DFAS has no record or paperwork of a retired reservist in the gray area. They do not see any status change for that individual until they are approved for retirement with pay. Then DFAS sees all the records, all the paperwork, sets up things like SBP, allotments, and the such. Third, it's the way for the reservist during the gray area period to be able to communicate with PERS 912, DFAS, update paperwork, put paperwork back in. For example, again, if you need to update your point capture status, this is the way you can do it. Finally, it is a way to keep in touch with DEERS. This is not a replacement for you updating DEERS, but you need to keep DEERS informed of address changes and the like. What you can do is start that My Pay account. That will keep you informed as to any policy changes or changes within the Navy or the retired pay system. You should be notified within 6 months prior to your 60th birthday that you need to submit your packet. You can go to the PERS 912 website. Again, as mentioned in last year's briefing, there are 2 major forms that need to be filled out. This year, from what we can gather from documentation from PERS 912, it takes approximately 6 months to approve the packet, but they are approximately 5 months behind schedule. So it may take up to 11 months. I would suggest for the year 2021 and 2022, start your request for reserve retirement pay a year ahead of your 60th birthday. Additionally, by staying within the, by starting the My Pay account, PERS 912 and DFAS will send you email notifications of where your reserve retirement package status is during the approval process. Finally, DFAS on their webpage, if you go to dfas.mil, they have a PDF, and I'm not going to give you the web address, it's on the slide. That has a 3-page PDF tips sheet on how to set up your MyPay account, how to use your MyPay account, and frequently asked questions. Again, this is the update for Reserve Retirement Pay for October 2021. Thank you. Hello, I'm Commander Phil Derose, retired USNR. And what I'm here to talk about today is the Reserve Retirement and Gray Area benefits. I've got several topics to cover, and we're actually going to break the presentation into two parts. First part will cover AP, ARP, AOCS, your notice of eligibility, your retired pay computation, applying for your retired pay, and how to get your gray area benefits. And I'll go over the second part in part two. ARPR, ASOCH, your annual retirement point record and your annual statement of service history. If you're still on active duty or still in the reserves, you can actually see these using your CAT card. If not, you can call NMPC and PERS 912 for a copy. I suggest you get a copy before you apply for your retirement pay, and get a copy before you leave your reserve duty. Again, if you've got credit, and while you are reviewing those annual reports, you can see how much credit, drill credit, ADT credit that you have. There are ways to make corrections to those, and here on the slides that you're seeing, if it's within the first 12 months, you can go to your NOSC and have them corrected there. After 12 months, you've got to go down to PERS 912 with all the supporting documentation. However, if you are over the 12-month limit and you have to go to PERS 912, it could take anywhere between 6 to 12 months for those points to actually show up in your point capture. Your notice of eligibility. The notice of eligibility tells you when you have your 20 years of good service. Your NOE should, in normal circumstances, be sent to you within 1 year of reaching your 20-year good service period. This also comes from PERS 912. Within 90 days of the receipt of your NOE, you have to send your package back in, requesting coverage for things such as your survivor's benefits. If it is not received, if you read the bottom of the slide, the option C will automatically be chosen for you. Again, if you're still on reserve duty and still, I'll say active duty, it's not active duty, but if you're still in the reserves prior to retirement, talk to somebody at your NOSC about the options. Retired reserve pay computation. If you were in between September 1980 and after September 8th, I should say, of 1980, you're under what's called a high 36. You need to get an estimate of your pay. You would simply multiply your years of equivalent service by 2.5, up to a maximum of 75%. Also, this is doing the average of your highest 36 months of basic pay. Note, and I want to read this verbatim, The highest 36 months of basic pay for a service member who transfers to the retired reserve until the age 60 will normally be the 36 months before age 60. Longevity service will continue and pay raises will continue to accrue. Service members who elect discharge before age 60 will have their highest 36 months of basic pay on the date of their discharge. Longevity service stops and future pay raises will be considered. The quick formula, reserve retired pay computation, is P divided by 360 times 0.25x B equals your monthly pay, with P equaling the number of points. B is the base pay of the grade in which you retired. The blended retirement system. Key aspects of the blended retirement system are part of a thrift savings plan and how much money you put into it, and it accumulates over time. Again, this is just a very quick overview. You can go to the websites listed here on the page, tsp.gov, dfas.mil, military1source.mil. This will provide you information on what the blended retirement system is and can do for you. Applying for your retirement without pay. As a gray area retiree, what you've done is you have told the Navy, I have my 20 years, I am ready to retire. You have to complete let me start that one. Applying for retirement without pay. The application for retirement without pay should be submitted in the time frame listed and in the format of the BUPERS instruction listed on the slide. A time and grade waiver could be requested and also has to be submitted as a separate enclosure. Again, while you are still an active reservist, contact your NOSC for information concerning this. The gray area retiree is one that has retired from the reserves but has not yet started collecting retired pay. The application for retirement and the list of benefits can be found on the website shown on the slide. Further into the presentation, I have one slide of the differences between gray area benefits and full retiree benefits. That'll be coming up shortly. Next slide. This is going to be the eye treatment test for everybody. The main difference between gray area benefit retirees and fully retired benefits, I've tried to highlight on this slide. The largest area, the main area, medical facilities, TRICARE, and whether you rate TRICARE or your spouse rates TRICARE, and whether you can use medical facilities. Please understand this. As a gray area retiree, you do not rate. As of September 2020, you do not rate any medical benefits in the gray area. As a military retiree, you have TRICARE. And again, what it will be for you when you actually turn 60, please contact tricare.gov. Applying for retirement with pay. Now that you're just about 60, you're probably wondering, when am I going to get paid and how do I get paid? Your pay commences the month that you turn 60 and you have completed 20 qualifying years. There are some exceptions to this. That will be the there are some exceptions to receiving your pay on your 60th birthday and completion of 20 years of qualifying service. The NAA of 2008 and 2015 specifically talk to those circumstances. Again, on the slide, there's a paragraph that will tell you what the differences are between 2008 and 2015. There is the possibility then that you could actually receive your retired pay earlier than your 60th birthday. Notification from PERS 912 should be forwarded to you approximately 9 to 10 months prior to your 60th birthday for you to begin the process of requesting retirement pay. If you do not see this package from PERS 912 at about the 8-month period, please notify PERS 912 at 1-866-827-5672. There will be several forms that you'll have to fill out and complete and submit back to PERS 912. Among them, the DD Form 108 and a DD Form 2656. These are required and necessary completed correctly and fully for you to receive your retirement pay. Complete processing the application normally takes several months after you submit the package, but please include your Social Security number. Please include your Social Security number on every form and every page that you submit. Again, you'll see at the bottom of the slide where to mail these forms to. Form 108, the application for retired pay and benefits. Please review it and check it over before you submit it. There are several areas that you need to fill out. Read the instructions before you fill it out. Block 3, will you be eligible at age 60 or earlier due to NDAA FY08 and FY15. Blocks 9 through 17. Detailed completion of these items is not required. However, if you choose to sign the form and say you're willing to accept what PERS 912 has for your point capture, this is what your retired pay will be computed on. It's best to have done the checking and ensure that your point capture is correct. PERS 912 is currently processing reserve retirements with pay that were received in June of 2019. They were approximately 7 to 9 months behind in their processing. This in no way should hold you up from submitting your paperwork on time. If you submitted your retirement paperwork prior to June of 2019, please contact PERS 912 at the My Career Center at 1-833-330-6622 immediately. All documents received are entered in their database, so they should have a record of it. Again, contact the My Navy Career Center immediately. your responsibilities. Prior to age 60, ensure your point capture is up to date. Keep NMPC updated on any change of address and any keep NMPC updated on any change of address and any life-changing events. Again, the package should be sent to you 9 to 10 months prior to your eligibility. If you do receive the package, the package will be sent to you approximately 9 to 10 months prior to your eligibility age. If you do receive a package, contact NMPC or download the forms off the website. Again, ask PERS 912 for any questions and any help that you may have. Again, point of contact information, DoD Instruction 7000.14R, BUPERS Instruction 1001.39F, again, PERS 912. I can't stress that enough to people. This is the end of part 1. Hi again, Commander Phil Derose, Retired Reserves. This is part 2 of the presentation on reserve retirement benefits and gray area benefits. To start with, SBP and the DD 2656, Survivor Benefits Plan Enrollment. Very important that you, again, talk to somebody at your NOSC about SBP and all the rules and regulations that govern it. The enrollment in this annuity plan is not automatic, and there are costs to this that will affect your retirement pay. Please be aware of all the options you have. Submitting your 2656. When you have all your documents ready to go, meet again with somebody at the NOSC. Go over those forms with somebody who understands what the program is. The DD 2656 is the most important form that you will be filing for your retirement. As you fill it out, please keep in mind the decisions that this will help determine. How will you receive your pay? The beneficiaries for any pay that is owed, federal and state withholding taxes, and I have a separate slide on that later on, and election of survivor benefits coverage. Again, you can talk to somebody at PERS 912, however, somebody locally might be more beneficial for you. Your SBP form. What is your marital status and your dependent status? Who is eligible to be a beneficiary? And when would your beneficiaries' payments begin? These are questions that you should have answers to as we talk a little bit on the slide to them, but also your beneficiaries should understand what the consequences of these are. The Survivor Benefits Plan allows the military to provide financial security for their spouse, former spouse, and/or children should they pass away. When a member of the reserves qualifies for retirement, they receive a notice of eligibility and a letter for a reserve component SBP election certification. That is the DD form 2656-5. You have 90 days to fill out and send that form in. Again, it cannot be chosen for you. Please understand the choices that you have. If you decline, defer, or if you select immediate coverage. Here's a picture of the form that you can take a look at. Typical information required. Understand the difference and the requirements between a former spouse and a current spouse, if this happens to be your situation. Once you start receiving your reserve retirement pay, and actually beforehand, you might want to go to the My Pay homepage. You'll want to set up your account, log in, set up your password, and currently passwords are good for, I believe it's 6 months, and every 6 months you have to reset your password. But here you can find all kinds of information on what's going on at DFAS, how to set up your allotments, how to pay your taxes, if you have any pay inquiries. So go to the My Pay homepage and get that set up. TRICARE. TRICARE. As we said in the gray area page, gray area benefits, you do not rate any medical coverage, nor does your spouse. Once you're officially retired at age 60, you're eligible for TRICARE. TRICARE has an important change that as of January of 2018, within 90 days of your 60th birthday, you must go to a DEERS site and obtain your retired ID card for you and your eligible dependents, and then call TRICARE to sign up for TRICARE. Otherwise, you will have to wait for open enrollment in the November timeframe, and this will not be retroactive. You need your notice of eligibility letter and your retirement letter. Please go to tricare.mil to understand what's going on with your TRICARE benefits. Retirement pay and taxes. Your retired pay is subject to federal withholding tax. You have to fill out a W-4. State withholdings. Depending on your state, each state is different. You may or may not have to withhold taxes for your state. You can have an allotment drawn out to pay for your federal withholding. You can, with a written request, have state tax taken out that will stay in effect until DFAS receives a second letter. Rapids. I want to take 2 seconds and Rapids, real-time automated personnel identification system. I'd like to take a quick minute to talk about Rapids. Rapids is a web-based area that you can go to find where you can get your ID card, or your dependents can get an ID card if one is needed. If your dependent has an ID card that's expiring and you need a new one. The website, as listed on the page, dmdc.osd.mil, will bring you to this Rapids website locator page. You can find places to go to get your ID card within 5, 10, 25 miles, 30 miles of your home. It doesn't necessarily have to be, or not necessarily will be, an active military base. For example, using Rhode Island as the example, you can find one at Quonset Air National Guard Base, at the Naval Station in Newport, at the Warwick Armory, or at the Rhode Island headquarters in Cranston, Rhode Island. So there are 4 sites within the state of Rhode Island where if you need an ID card, you can go and get them. What you need to ensure is you have the completed form, the DD Form 1172-2, your eligibility documents, and 2 other forms of ID. Again, you can read on the slide what is acceptable. Military organizations. Please find one. As a retired reservist, you need to stay connected. You should stay connected to find out what's going on with your benefits. We here at the Retired Activities Office do not endorse any single one, but find one that works for you. Join and stay connected. The next slide, Ship Colors Retiree Checklist. This was put together by the Ship Colors magazine and website that gives you an idea of the types of items that you would need to obtain, hang on to, and retain during your retirement period. As you can see, they've broken it down into 11 areas. There's different types of documents that you would want to keep there. Most notably in your military file is your DD-214. For those of you who live in Connecticut, if you ever need a copy of your DD-214 and can't find one, if you filed for your local town tax exemption with your city or town, they have a copy of your DD-214 on file. Other things you could do to get your DD-214, contact your local congressional office. A new subject that we just added is there are retirement transition outreach events that will be coming up in FY21. You need to register for these through the Retired Activities Office. They are taking only a maximum of 150 attendees per event. Now, most of these may be virtual, so you may be able to join in from wherever they are. However, please understand that, again, these are new for FY21. The website listed at the bottom of the page will give you the web address and the page that you can go to get more information on this. The sessions are usually a 3-day workshop, but what they're trying to do obviously is condense them and combine them to make them somewhat quicker. There's actually one scheduled, if we look at the next page, there's one scheduled for November 3 to 5 in Millington, Tennessee, which we probably just missed. January, April, May, June, and 2 in September of 2021. Again, they may be of help to you. Please visit the website to see if you can register for those. And finally, if you have any questions about the presentation, please contact your Retired Activities Office, the building here at Subbase New London. We're generally here Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, Tuesday and Thursday additionally from 12 to 1500. Due to COVID and the restrictions on the base, we don't know just when we'll be able to man the office again. However, if you phone 860-694-3284 and leave a voicemail, we are attending, and we'll be picking up the voicemail every couple of days, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much.